Good morning. This is the pre-market for Tuesday, March 4th. Overall, we've only seen weak bounces overnight on the futures, and essentially the hourly trend is our guide. And this hourly 12 EMA seems to be our guide too. With the volume that we saw yesterday coming in, we cautioned that more downside risk is definitely on the table. This is very sustained selling. The bears are definitely showing up at this time. This is, we don't know where they're wanting to take us, but they're wanting to take us somewhere. And if we are able to hold the low of yesterday, essentially, where are we? This was the low, this is our low, and then we're just heading to that nearby support. If we can hold the low of yesterday and get above this is on S&P futures, so 5,884, hold the low of yesterday and get over 5,884. That is the bulls, like last hope really, and then we're just looking at that one support, but it's not looking good overall. And even if we do bounce from this level and we manage to hold this level, we are just making a right shoulder, and we would just be bear flagging at that time, and very much at risk for more downside, just because of this volume is my biggest indicator that is the potential. We need to see even more bull volume coming in to send us back up. Just like I was saying before, we need to, when on this bounce, I'm like, it would take a lot of bear volume to bring us back down. Well, that volume did come in. It came in very much so. So nothing changes until we can change the hourly trend at least. So now we're looking for an hourly higher low than 58.21. And we'll see if we can get that on the market open, I guess. Do we have any market data? Just one second. I forgot that I didn't go over any market data. No market data today. Tomorrow we have ISM services, and Friday we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and Fed Powell speaking. So nothing today. So I don't know unless there's any unforeseen events, but yeah, we're looking bearish overall, and I'm gonna say we are bearish until we can get above this point. Now this is our bears line in the sand. As long as they are making lower highs. So that's on NQ. On S&P, so that was the 6,023. Now we have another close by support. So 6,000 on ES1 is the line in the sand for the bears. As long as they're holding that, we are bearish and should be treated otherwise. We need to see something happen, especially 4-hour trend changes. That would be our biggest indicator that we are trying to put in a weekly higher low. Otherwise, we're just flushing on the weekly now and trying to put in a monthly higher low at this point. And my target would be the monthly 12 EMA. We wicked off it here. We pretty much held it here, and it's potential we could hold this for quite an extended period of time, which we have been. So need to be ready for all the outcomes essentially. I'm not going to hold for massive consolidation here. So yeah, the 200 moving average lines up with the monthly 12 EMA, and that's kind of what I'd be looking at. And plus, we could be into daily oversold at that time too. Okay, so yeah, the Nasdaq's a bit weaker, and that's obviously semiconductor driven. The Dow is still overall stronger. This one, yeah, the Dow is still stronger, and that was because of financials, the finance sector and industrial sectors holding it up. The Russell already at the low of yesterday, potential to lose it already. Where could we be looking? Yeah, we're just looking at this monthly support now for the Russell, and as I was saying before, we had this head and shoulders pattern, weekly head and shoulders, which we are definitively broken bear now. This is quite a big range when you're taking we could be looking at this type of move downwards. So we are at risk on the Russell, and yeah, the weaker unestablished names. Whenever this bounces, it'll just be a bounce. We could be looking down to the weekly 200 moving average, but the weekly 200 average and this monthly support could come into play. It's close to the monthly 50 average too, but just not good. All the small cap names, and this is also like our crypto names too. Like, they are high risk names. So semiconductors kind of opening up at the same spot they were yesterday, but was just like a weak 4-hour bear flag. We've got the 4-hour guiding us down very much so on semiconductors. Most names are, like most of these names, if the biggest chance they have is holding the low of yesterday and potentially changing the trend, hourly trend. We've got this 4-hour equilibrium to watch on Meta. We have support coming up here at 642.60. Nvda breaking its head and shoulders. Yeah, breaking its shoulder line here. Now, and we've broken its last support. If we see another, like currently we're just holding, bouncing at that support right there, but we are at risk of losing that altogether. See another flush down. I'd be interested in Nvidia in daily oversolds because this is coming from an all-time high, so that has me interested for a bounce play. Tesla just bear flagged on the daily. We're looking already at the low towards breaking this daily bear flag. We need to hold this low and change the hourly trend, or we are at risk of another flush down. We are in gap fill territory, or just at gap fill territory. We wicked right underneath it and started that bounce, but that's all it is a bounce. Now I'd be looking at closing the gap if that's what the case is. Pltr gapping down at the moment. If we are gapping down on the actual open, I would be looking, like, as a bear, if we're looking very bearish, we would be looking, so the further we get down here, when it bounces, we would be looking for the low of yesterday to hold and push it lower, see a 5-minute pivot or a 5-minute trend change from 82.53, and that would show us that the bears are not playing and they want to push this down hard. Those are extreme downtrends when gaps just fill or don't even fill and close or get sent back down. So Pltr, I also, at this point, I would be only interested in daily oversold, which would probably bring us here down to this monthly support or weekly support. Yeah, it's a monthly support, monthly or weekly support here. And then we would just be looking at a head and shoulders if that was to hold. But yeah, I need extreme oversold conditions to be playing this name. Apple still kind of back in its range, still opening up inside yesterday, so very possible to see an inside bar. We're still not done with this bounce yet. We would need to break the low of yesterday to confirm that this is the top of this bounce. So Apple still has some hope. IBM, just a quick daily lower high potential, and we're opening up close to the low of yesterday's range. So we are at risk of seeing continuation here now, and then we would be in this gap fill territory, which is very possible. Just with the way the market's going, I might be looking at, or we might be looking at things closing their gaps that were left behind. Google, just continued weakness, just had a quick bear flag and continuation all in the same day. Losing the golden pocket now. Now we're just looking at this monthly. No, that's a weekly support. This weekly support now. Even if we do bounce at this point, we need to see a 4-hour trend change to give us some hope that that weekly higher low is set. And then we would just be looking at a weekly right shoulder. So overall, Google is weak. We could just easily just break down through this because we are seeing, we did see elevated volume here. So Google's at risk of ultimately coming down to this level, 148.03, if this doesn't hold. And then we would just be looking at a monthly head and shoulders for Google. Amazon approaching daily oversold, so that's good. Oh wait, Google is daily oversold, so I would be expecting a bounce here at a more significant bounce at some point, but we need to see like at least an hourly trend change or the 4-hour trend change, yeah, to see that. Amazon, yeah, still just looking for its monthly higher low. Got the monthly 12 EMA coming up. And this weekly support down here, 195.75. No sign of the bulls yet. We've also got the 50 weekly average coming up. And we are still holding the previous breakout zone. So Amazon's still like overall healthy as long as we hold this previous breakout zone. But we are at it pretty much now. Got the 200 moving average at it as well. So Amazon could easily see a bounce here with all this confluence happening with the previous high, the 200 moving average. So I'll be watching Amazon for maybe an hourly trend change. Baba opening up inside yesterday's range, so but still closer to the low. Could very well be an inside bar today. We're just watching this as a potential equilibrium to play out. AMD gapping or trying to gap down. AMD is weak. Where would AMD be looking at? Okay, so we have monthly support coming up for AMD at 93.12. I might play off of that as a potential bounce play, but that's just potential. I would want to see a pivot at that point, maybe an hourly pivot at that point. I need something to give me something. Visa, just an absolute bull. We're opening up in the middle of yesterday's range. This could be kind of showing we're trying to put in a volume climax. Interested in potentially 1 hour oversold or at least 4 hour oversold, depending on the market weakness. But everything looks good. We're due for a pullback on Visa anyway, so definitely standing out, Visa. RGTI looks like it's already trying to put in we're gapping down. So now we're just looking at $7, $6, and $5.95 support. RGTI is just very weak, and this is just sustained selling, just a waterfall selling. When this bounces, we would just be looking at a daily bear flag, and it's just very weak. This has to do with IWM and all the unproven names. Essentially, they're unestablished, non-earning names, non-revenue earning names. Microsoft gapping down, gapping right to the support. This is a head and shoulders here, so don't caution on Microsoft that we have a monthly head and shoulders. There's potential here that this could see significant downside. We could want to come back test our previous breakout zone, 340.15. We could want to test this previous breakout zone of 361.81, but we are looking weak, gapping down today. Could be a gap down for buying. We're not daily oversold yet, so I'm not interested in this name as far as a bounce play at this time. I would be interested if we see an accelerated move to the downside. SMCI gapping down. Watch for the gap to close and then further downside potential. Unless that's like if we gap down and then it comes inside this range, then it opens up this whole range essentially. But if the bears just hold the gap down and close the gap and send it back down, then we're at risk for much more downside, and then we're looking at this 25 level, 25.71. So we didn't really establish much of a support on the way up, and we're just flushing right down the same way we came back up. All right, so I'll go check out some crypto. Bitcoin dominance. So we're seeing a little bit of consolidation right now on Bitcoin dominance. Just yeah, we're just looking for a 4-hour higher low at this point. Still just trapped in this equilibrium. Bitcoin down 3% so far this morning. So that daily bounce just gave us enough room to cool off for more daily downside. Bitcoin, I'm still not interested until I want to see this 73,000 back test and see what happens there. We have enough room for a higher low because of that was a giant move, but we are losing a significant amount of the retracement. We're heading towards the 0.786, and that just means if we even hold, we would be choppy. Ethereum already breaking into new lows, very weak. Very weak. XRP. XRP still has a little bit of strength potential. Yeah, XRP is one of the names that is definitely better standing out as far as that goes, because we're still holding our fear low, and now we could just be looking at an equilibrium up here. Looks like we're trying to potentially put in an hourly higher low. We've made enough room now for an hourly inverse head and shoulders. So XRP is set up a little bit better. Yeah, I guess everything is pretty much hourly potential inverse head and shoulders. Bitcoin's weaker as far as the inverse head and shoulders goes. Litecoin closer to its lows. Just a 4-hour bear flag. So Litecoin, it was weak or was stronger, but now we're starting to see more weakness. It's just catching up. It was set up well, but yeah, we didn't hold up here, and the overall market weakness brought us down. Hype just already seeing a breakdown, breaking the low of yesterday and the other flush low. BNB still holding its fear tariff low, so one of the stronger names as far as I'm concerned. If it's holding its tariff low, I'm considering it stronger. So ETH and Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't, but yeah, and Ethereum aren't. XRP, Litecoin, Hype isn't. BNB is. Solana, we kind of just back tested that fear low, to be honest, and now we're flushing down again. So even though there was good news, it's still like this is kind of my sentiment. Even though there's still good news coming out for this sector, we are still seeing bear reaction. We got a bullish little bump, and then overall we're still seeing bear. So even with good news, we're still selling off. That's kind of a red flag on the overall picture of the market of crypto. Not that the stock market's doing any better at this time, but when good news is still treated like bad news, that's a sentiment change. That means nothing essentially it matters. Sell off the news, and we're just gonna until that sentiment changes. I'm a bear. You have to be a bear right now, and that's just how I have to look at things. Put your bear goggles on. Assume we're bearish until something changes. We need to see a 4-hour. Once I see a 4-hour trend change, that's put something to hang your hat off of for the bulls. And there's nothing for us until then. Ondo below its fear low, weaker. Link below its fear low, about to lose that as well. Sui just losing its fear low right now. Overall, we've got the golden pocket on this big move overall, and still just looking for a monthly higher low on Sui. We got the 12 moving average underneath us and that golden pocket, so we'll see if that can hold us. XLM just looking for a monthly higher low, still a monthly inside bar. So there's a potential here. XLM, because it did break this high, the most likely scenario is to see a higher low on the way back down, but we've given so much of this move back that we would just be looking for an equilibrium anyways. Cardano looking for that daily higher low. Obviously this was one of the bigger names on the bounce, and we broke multiple levels, many levels on the way up. So yeah, although we have given a lot of this move back, we would still be expecting. We've got the 12 moving average and 50 daily moving average underneath us at the moment. If we can hold that, Cardano could be set up for better than the rest. But we've given enough of the move back. We would just see an equilibrium wherever this daily bounces. Dogecoin looking at its flush low underneath its tariff low, so weaker. Still trying to just find a daily higher low at this point. H-bar is actually standing out to me now. Yeah, quite a bit so actually. We're green on the day. Not sure if there's news. Still down 40.1 or 40.75%, but it's already looking like we're having issues with the daily 50 EMA. We did just break down below our tariff low and then bounce, but we're actually holding up okay on H-bar at this time. It's more likely that we see a daily higher low, and it looks like money's trying to come in. We're holding our golden pocket on the way down, which is one of the strongest. As far as bounces go, H-bar is the only one that's holding its golden pocket. Or Cardano might be. Yeah, even Cardano made it further down below the golden pocket. So H-bar is actually, I'm not sure what's going on with H-bar, but it is leading as far as the bounce goes. Mochi's just looking back down towards its lows here, and it is above its tariff low, but yeah, still just fading this move and looking to those lows right now. Alpha already broken down, still holding its tariff low, but this is just obviously way more beaten up than every other name anyways. Alpha is just looking very weak, and to be honest, at risk of going back down to its all-time lows. Kaspa already trying to confirm this lower high and lower low. Now it's just looking at its tariff low, and we are at risk of heading back down to all-time lows. Very high risk. AVAX in this monthly equilibrium still, unless we lose 1729, but we are heading there right now. Ton looks like it's trying to put in a bit of a reversal, but we are also at all-time lows, so caution. There is no floor at all-time lows. They can always go lower. Just assume that. Even if this does bounce here, I would just be looking at a daily lower high than 358, and then yeah, but we're struggling with this tariff low right now. Ton is a bad name. Looking at all-time lows, it's not good. It's already in all-time lows, sorry. Trump just trying to put in its daily higher low. Most we would see, the best bull case would be seeing an equilibrium play out, but at risk of heading to all-time lows. All right, well, I will see you tonight for the recap, but yeah, we need to change hourly trends. That's the very first thing we need to see, and holding the lows of yesterday and trying to break the highs of yesterday. So that would show we are trying to change, or we are changing that hourly trend change. Otherwise, everything is bearish. H bar stands out for the crypto, and nothing stands out as far as I'm seeing. Nothing's glaring to me on as far as the stock market. Let's see XLF actually. So XLF did manage to make an all-time high yesterday, but yeah, we closed really weak, and looks like we kind of might have put in a volume climax, so everything's just at risk right now, further downside. Semis are just the worst. Okay, all right, I will see you tonight. Bye.